Okay, class, we got to solve these problems by quadratic formula. So this formula, negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac, the whole thing's over 2a. One of those formulas that lasts forever. So you're going to have quadratic formula for the rest of your life. Okay, got 6 examples. We'll just call this number 1. All right, here we go. Number 2. Now, a big deal on quadratic formula is it has to be equal to 0. So all your stuff on this side, equal sign 0. So the first thing we do is once we've got all of our family together, we identify our a's, b's, c's. In front of the x squared, that's always your a. In front of your x, that's always b. And the number out here is always c. So this is your a, this is your b, this is your c. So identifying your a's, b's, and c's. C is a positive 9. B is negative 10. I don't have a number in front of the x squared. If you don't have a number there, you can just put in understood 1. A is equal to 1. All right, so we've got our a's, b's, and c's ready to go. Now this is how I like to do it. Here's your formula. X is equal to negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So what I'm going to do on this, guys, is I've got all these holes, these spots, where I plug in values. So a B and a B are my first two. So I'm dropping in a negative 10 on the first two spots. My A is a positive 1. There's A. Got another A on the bottom. There's another one. The very end down there is C. That's my C. That's my C. C is equal to 9. So I plug the right numbers in the right places. And let's get to work cleaning this up. So right now we've got negative times negative. That's positive 10 plus or minus a negative number that is squared. If you have a negative number squared, it does turn positive. That's a positive 100. 4 times 1 times 9, 36. And this whole thing is over 2. Let's get this out of the way. Okay, so inside here I've got 100 minus 36, which is 64. And then you catch a break. You're like, I know the square root of 64. It's 8. So this is 10 plus or minus 8 over 2. How this plus or minus works is pretty cool. You just say x is equal to 10 plus 8 over 2 and 10 minus 8 over 2. So you got one with plus, one with minus. So 10 plus 8, that's 18 over 2. And 10 minus 8, that's 2 over 2. So you've got a couple little answers getting ready to happen. 18 divided by 2. And 2 divided by 2 is 1. So you got your two answers. X equals 9, x equals 1. So solving by quadratic formula. All right, first look at it. Not too bad. All right, here we go. Number 2. Oh, no, we already did 1 and 2. This is number 3. All right, third one, here we go. 3x squared plus 18x equals 21. Now, if you remember, they always have to be equal to 0. This is 21. It's not 0. Grab the 21. He's got to get over with the rest of the problem. So it becomes 3x squared plus 18x minus 21. And now you got it set equal to 0. Once you have it set equal to 0, then you can pick out your a's, b's, and c's. It's like a is equal to 3, b is 18, c is negative 21. Oh yeah. All right, here we go. So negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So again, this is the way I love to do it. I love to get all my spots ready to go, and then I just drop in the values. The first two spots are b's, 18 and 18. So there's 18, 18. A is 3, so you got an A in that one. You got an A right there. And then your B, C's negative 21. Uh-oh, this is a big deal. Everybody misses this. Everybody misses this. I'm going to have to show you how to deal with that negative sign. All right, let's clean this up. Negative times 18, negative 18, plus or minus. 18 squared, what is that, 324? Yeah, it is, 324. 2 times 3 is 6. Now, this is what I'm telling you to be on the lookout for. Here's this negative multiplies that negative. So anytime your C is negative, just be ready to go negative times negative makes that a positive. Negative times negative is a positive. People mess that up all the time. That's 252. So 4 times 3 times 21, 252. All right, let's get this out of the way. Scroll it up here to the top. Man, board is not that clean. All right, what is that going to be? 576? Yeah, I think so. So we'll do negative 18 plus or minus 576 over 6. So once you get it to here, you catch another break. Square root of 576 is 24. And all this is over 6. All right, plus or minus means we're just going to split it. So x is going to equal negative 18 plus 24 over 6 and negative 18. So x is going to equal plus or minus negative 18 plus 24 over 6 and negative 18 minus 24 over 6. Then you got some cleaning up to do. What's this going to be? 6 over 6. And what is that? Negative 18 and negative, was that 42? I think so. Negative 42 over 6. So x is equal to 6 divided by 6, that's 1. And negative 7. Boom, kaboom. Solving by quadratic formula. There we go. All right, 1, 2, 3 in the books. Number 4. Okay, what do we got here? 2x squared minus 12x plus 8 equals 0. So this one's already set equal to 0. Caught a break, it's equal to 0, didn't have to move anything. Now you can just go, okay, a equals 2, b equals negative 12, c equals 8. So you got 2, negative 12, and 8. We're going to drop them in. So every time I do quadratic formula, I write the formula, but I leave all the spots ready to go. First two spots are b values. B is negative 12, so here's negative and 12. Negative and 12. What's my a? A is equal to 2, so here's an a, here's an a. And this time c is positive. C is positive. All right, let's do this. Negative times negative, so that's positive 12, plus or minus. Uh-oh, a negative number that is squared. What is a negative number that is squared? You're like, oh, that's a positive, Mr. Porter. 144. And then I got to take 4 times 2 times 8, which is 64. 2 times 2 is 4. So now we got to take a subtraction problem. We got to do 144 minus 64, which is 80. Like, square root of 80. That'd been cool if it had been 81 or something easy to work with. 80, we're going to have to factor tree this. So let's get all this out of the way. All right, 80, let's factor tree that. So we're going to take 80, we're going to break it down. We've got 2, 40, 2, 20, 2, 10, 2, So it was an 80. Now you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 2, 2, 2, 5. But we're pretty good at that. Like we can take the 2's that are on the inside. Here's one pair of 2's. Here is another pair of 2's. And we can grab those and get them out. And if you guys remember correctly, 2 on the inside, you only write it one time on the outside. So this becomes 2 times 2. Looks like that. So it was square root of 80. After you go to work and you factor tree it, it becomes 4 square roots of 5. So let's write it. 12 plus or minus 4 square roots of 5, and all this is over 4. Now when you get to here, we start thinking about it like, okay, this is a 12, and this is a square root of 5. Like I cannot add or subtract these, so plus or minus doesn't really go anywhere. So sometimes you'd be done right here because there's not anything you could add or subtract. They're not like terms. But your radar's going off. You're like, 12 divides by 4, 4 divides by 4. Like, I better run a split on this one. So let's run a split. So we'll do 12 over 4 plus or minus 4 square roots of 5. Ooh, that's a bad looking 5. Over 4. Now it's pretty handy. You're like, 12 divided by 4, 4 divided by 4. Like, I got this. So this is 3. This is plus or minus. Those cancel, and that's just square root of 5. And again, this is a regular number 3, and this is a square root. You can't add or subtract those. So you're done. That's all you can do on those like terms. Not too bad. All right. All right, number 5. Here we go. This might be my favorite. Here we go, number 5. 3x squared plus 30x equals negative 75. Okay, so every time you do quadratic formula, you gotta have it set equal to 0. This is not 0. Grab that 75, get him over here. Was negative 75, move him over, becomes positive 75. And now we're good to go. So you do have it set equal to 0. Here is your A, here is your B, here is your C. Picking out your A's, B's, and C's. A equals 3, B equals 30, C equals 75. We're about to get some big numbers. All right, I love doing it this way. Let's drop them in. First 2 spots are always a B. B's equal to 30. So we drop in a 30, and we drop in a 30. A is 3, so here's your A, here's your A. C is 75. There's only one C in the whole formula, and that is right there with 75. You're like, oh my, Mr. Porter. All right, about right now you're reaching for a calculator. Here we go. So negative 30 plus or minus. So 30 squared, you're like, okay, I can do 30 times 30, that's 900. I'm like, I'm not scared of that. This one I have to multiply together. 4 times 3 times 75. It also turns out to be 900. It does. I think now you're going to like this problem. 2 times 3 is 6. All right, here's why you're liking this. You're realizing it right now. 900 minus 900, that's just 0. You're like, oh, square root of 0, wha-ching, that's 0, that's gone. So yeah, this, you could just say is gone, and now you have negative 30 over 6. And there we have it, x equals negative 5. So that's probably my favorite of all the 6 examples. I got one more, but that one I like. It's kind of slick. All right, here we go. Last one. One more quadratic formula problem coming up. Number 6. 2x squared plus 30. Oh, it's a 12x that's in the wrong spot. Okay, he's in the wrong spot. He's an x. He's got to be right in the middle. So let's get him where he needs to be. So he was a negative. When you moved him across the equal sign, that changes to a positive. But we got to get the whole family together. And it has to be equal to 0. So whole families together, x squared, then x, then number. We can pick out our A, B, C right here, right now. So A equals, well, I don't know if you can see that or not. Hold on, let me move this over a little bit. That's close. A equals 2, B equals 12, C equals 30. So they're all positives. Let's get them into our formula. So we've got the whole formula ready to go. Let's drop them in. First two spots belong to B. This time B is 12. So there's my first two spots with the 12. A is 2. So I got an A and I got an A. So I got an A with the 2 and A with the 2. There's only one C in the whole problem, and that's that guy right there. It turns out to be a C. C is 30. Uh-oh, we're going to have some issues right here, guys. So negative 12 plus or minus 12 squared, that's 144. Then 4 times 2 times 30, that's 240. And the whole thing, 2 times 2 is over 4. All right, we're going to have some issues. So for the first time, this 144 minus 240 is going to give me a negative number. A negative underneath the square root. I think it's 96. It is. So you got negative 12 plus or minus a negative 96 over 4. So as soon as we see a negative sign underneath the square root, we know that's an I. So we can rewrite this as I square roots of 96. Okay, 96, we can't leave it as 96. We got to go to work on that. So let's start factor treeing that down. So sneak over on the side, little scratch paper. 96 divided by 2, 48 divided by 2, 24 divided by 2. Let's just take this all the way down. 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, and a 3. So we've got a whole bunch of 2's and a 3. So it was 96. We factor tree it down with a whole bunch of 2's and a 3. So grab this 2, grab this 2. Let's get them out. Let's get them out. Oh, and we know the rule. 2 on the inside. You only write it one time on the outside. So it looks like this. So this becomes 4 square roots of 3. So we're looking at this was I times square root of 96. We break it down to become 4 square roots of 3. So where's the I go? That's a pretty good question. Like I've got this I still hanging around and there's this 4 square roots of 3. Put the 4 first, then the I, then the square root of 3. And that's how you rewrite that. Okay, let's clean this up and then we'll be done. See, here's the story on this problem, is this is plus or minus, but that's a regular number 12. He's not like terms with an I or a square root. But we can divide these. You're like, oh, I remember we did this earlier. Let's just run a split. So x is equal to negative 12 plus or minus 4i square roots of 3. Since there's a 4 on the bottom, you can split this. Divide by 4 here, divide by 4 there, and let's clean it up. 12 divided by 4, that's negative 3. Those 4's on the outside, whoa. All right, guys, I think on the 96, hold on just a second. I think I missed a 2 on that. Hold on. Let's go back and make sure. Don't want to get out of whack here. Let's recount my 2's. I'm starting to rethink that on the 96. So it was 2 and 48, 2 and 24, 2 and 12, 2 and 6, yep, 2 and 3. I did it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So fix it real quick. Not too bad of a mistake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when we do this, there's still another 2 underneath. So we're grabbing that one, we're grabbing that one. Let's get this fixed. On the outside, 2 times 2. So yeah, I messed up and I forgot there was another 2 underneath there. It's a good thing we caught it. 2 times 2, that's 4. 2 times 3, that's 6. So really all we gotta do is just change that to a 6 underneath. So not too bad. Where'd it go? So this was supposed to be a 6 underneath. All right, now let's run the split and finish this. Negative 12 plus or minus 4i squared, it's a 6 over 4. Yeah, and this is where we're going to run the split. Negative 12 over 4 plus or minus 4i squared, it's a 6 over 4. And this is awesome. Those 4's cancel out, and we've got ourselves an answer. Negative 3 plus or minus I squared, it's a 6. All right, guys, a whole lot of A's, B's, C's. Quadratic formula. One of those formulas that you're going to use every math class you ever take. There you have it.